Hey guys, good morning. It's Jason Flame, Master Motivation Podcast host, and it is Friday the 13th. Wow, pretty cool day. Right before Valentine's Day tomorrow. So,
Yes.
guys, I am super excited to bring another amazing guest to our show. Tell us all about her story. So, let me introduce her. This is Kim Simons, who is a powerhouse in commercial real estate with decades of experience representing everyone from Fortune 500 companies to local entrepreneurs chasing their dreams. Currently, with illi Commercial Real Estate, Kim has helped shape retail restaurant spaces while simultaneously building an impressive creative career as a Screen Actors Guild member, published author, and accomplished screenwriter. Her passion for community leadership shines through her service with Kiwanis, the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce, and now as an arts commissioner for the City of Moorpark. Kim's journey is a powerful journey that business success and creative expression can coexist. And today, we're diving into the mindset that makes it all possible. So, Kim, welcome to our show. Thank you for being here.
Well, Jason, thank you for having me. This is really a great opportunity. I just feel fantastic to be on your show.
It's going to be a good time, and we have a lot to talk about. But just
Yes.
kind of give us, an update, like what's going on in your life right now. And I know we have a lot of questions to answer, but just kind of give us a little insight to who you are and what you're doing right now.
Well, right now, the biggest thing that I'm working on, and you may know about the project, is the High Street Depot, which is the renovation of Moorpark and High Street. It's just a beautiful, beautiful building. It covers almost the entire street on one side of High Street. And it's just wonderful for our community to see all of this come together and in such a beautiful way. It's very artful. The city's put a lot of money into just making that a destination spot. And so right now I'm working on getting tenants in there. We have a few tenants that I've already signed in. They're starting their business. They're doing a build out. Um, and we have several restaurants that are going into the main center area where it's going to be all the community can meet. It's sort of like a meeting place for the entire community where we have music, we're going to have dancing, it's a spot where everyone can gather. It's where the public is invited to just come, have dinner, do whatever, and really enjoy this beautiful new space.
Yep.
So it's just great to see all this coming
There's a, there's a,
together.
there's a lot of people that are really excited about this project and really
Yes,
excited for this new, like you said, kind of destination spot because
yes,
High Street is named Historic High Street here in
yeah.
Moorpark, and it's just the central hub to our community. And as much as there are a lot of people that absolutely love it, super excited, we've got the other side of the people that have been here
And
forever.
they're the
And
people I don't really get to hear from. But let me just say this: when you go down there, and you know it's Friday night, it's Saturday night, you can't get a reservation hardly at Frida's or at M. Believe me, I've tried. You walk in and you say, "No, I don't have a reservation," and they're like, "Wow." We're jam packed down there. So this type of, it was needed in the city of Moorpark. It really was. And then think about it, it's right on High Street, right where the theater is. So you can go to the theater, grab yourself a dinner, and then go to the theater, or vice versa.
right.
Because we're bringing in new businesses as we speak. We're always, innovating and bringing in new people. So I mean, this is a positive thing. I think people talk about traffic and worry about things like that. That only is going to become an issue once we get all the apartments, not necessarily the apartments that are on High Street that were built at the High Street Depot, but the other apartments on the other side, closer to where the new library is going to be. I think that's going to bring a little more traffic. But I think other things will offset it, such as the Hitch Street, the Hitch, Ranch. I'm sorry,
Yes. Uh-huh.
development. We're going to be putting in new streets. We'll remeter the lights, and things will be I think it'll flow. I think it's going to be all right.
I,
In
you
the
know,
end, it'll be all right.
I think it's going to be all right. I think it's going to be all right. Everybody
Yes.
is hesitant to change. I get that. We'll come back to
Right.
that in just a second. Before I just want to shout him out because he's here watching. Robert Perez, one of our biggest
Ah,
community supporters, and also someone who's been here.
yes.
His family has been here for, I believe, over 100 years. So,
Wow.
talk about seeing how Moorpark has grown and Moorpark has changed, and all of the excitement. I know that he's excited about it as well. But Robert, please share your thoughts as we continue talking about this. But thank you for watching as well. Now, Kim, I know I probably can't ask, but I'm going to ask anyway. Can you tell
Okay.
us any of the businesses that are coming in on High Street, or
Well,
is it still under
I
wraps?
want to hesitate about that. We are doing restaurants in the center area. There are already 2 restaurants signed LOIs making their plans for the build out. Uh, one of the sides is still in the works.
Okay.
Is, what we have for certain is Pilates. The Pilates is going in. We also have for certain a wine tasting venue, which is it's going to be a different sort of idea because they're going to be able to do parties there. They're thinking bachelorette parties. They're thinking birthday parties. So it's going to be a party venue, although there'll be wine tasting for the general public.
So, guys, if you're watching and you're wondering what's going in on High Street, I tried to ask and we can't get any names, but you'll see it soon. It's coming up, guys. It's super
Yeah, it's
exciting.
coming.
I think that, we keep hearing about the revitalization of High
Mhm.
Street, and
Yeah.
and there's just a lot of energy. And, I live up in the Highlands. So when I drive into town, I usually drive down High Street and then come down Moorpark Avenue.
Yes.
And at nighttime, I absolutely love it because I love just the lights
Oh
on the
yeah.
light poles, and I love all the seeing
Exactly.
the restaurants that are busy and things that are happening. So as things continue to fill in
Yeah.
on the other side, there'll be even more life there. So super
Yeah,
exciting, exciting
let's
times.
not forget that we've got the Lucky Fools, and then they have their new venue, which is their entertainment side.
Yep.
That is, it's a stay for Moorpark. It's a place where everyone gathers. And then I think M on High Street is high, a dressier restaurant that you can go to. People will want to take their Valentines to. In fact, we
Uh-huh.
called and tried to get reservations and can't. But
You didn't tell them it's Kim
and
Simons?
Frida's as
Like,
well.
hello.
Frida's as well. So yeah, it's so exciting to see all this.
It is absolutely. Well, listen, you successfully scale analytical business skills with creative pursuits. You've done both
Yeah,
through commercial real estate, acting, screenwriting, as well as
right.
publishing a novel, which I know we're going to talk about. How are you able to balance so many diverse pursuits?
Well, I love the fact that I'm doing real estate because it actually does give you the time to make space for your time. Of course, I meet clients whenever the clients can meet. However, you do have that time. You're not like clocking in, clocking out somewhere. You can come home and write a few paragraphs or whatever. What I generally try to do though is work during the day and then like after dinner rather than watching TV and falling asleep, which of course most people like to do. I come in and write, and to me, that's exciting. That's relaxing. That's where I get my outlet. And sometimes you're writing, you get carried away with you. I'll be up, till 1 in the morning, just because if I get on a roll and I'm not all excited about what I'm writing and it's an exciting thing, you don't want to stop.
Right.
You just keep going. And so that's the thing. I love the fact that that is my passion. The writing is a passion thing that I do. And so you get a balance, in your life. You have your things that you really have to focus on and that you go to on a daily basis. But then you've got something that just charges you from within,
Mhm.
that inspiration.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Well,
that is important.
And it's nice to have a career that allows you to have that, that time, whether it's during the
Exactly.
day or during the night or whenever you find it.
Right.
You're able to do your job, but you also have time to pursue your other interests,
Correct.
like you said,
Yes.
writing and screenwriting. So we're gonna nail those in just a minute. But you've worked in real estate with everyone from Fortune 500 companies to local small
Yes.
business owners.
Yes.
What are the biggest differences in mindset between a large national brand and local entrepreneurs just getting started?
Yeah. I'm glad you asked me that, because I'll tell you, a lot of people say, well, I want this in our neighborhood. I want that. National people only look at the numbers. They only want to know your demographics. They only want to know your traffic counts. They only want to know, how many people live in the city, how much money do they have. That's demographics. It's what they're talking about. Will that be a draw for their business? So they're looking at an overview. um, you know, the mom and pop type places, they already know Moorpark. They maybe are even residents of Moorpark. So they're passion driven too. There's people that are actually coming to High Street Depot that have been born and raised in Moorpark,
Nice.
and they just love that there's something that they can do and have a job where, not even a job or a business, to do what they've always wanted to do, and it's close to home.
Hmm.
So the mom and pops have a different reason to be doing this. And I like the fact that there's a blend. We don't put national people in on High Street. I don't know if you know that, but it's a rule that they have to be unique businesses. So if they have more than 12 locations, they are not supposed to be on High Street. So we do have to, but people ask you questions about, why don't we have a Trader Joe's? And how many times have you heard that? Yeah, okay, I would
I
love
knew
to
it
have
was
a
coming.
Trader
I knew it was
Joe's.
coming.
I know. I mean, like, and then people would go on Facebook and blame the mayor and blame this one and that one. No, no, no. It's not like that. They choose you. They
Yeah.
choose you. But once you get, let's say we have so much draw over at the High Street Depot, or so much draw, and that raises our numbers. And then your nationals start to look at you,
Right.
more, and see you as a serious competitor, that they may want to go there.
And that's it. And that's what I don't understand sometimes when we have our community who is begging for a Trader Joe's, right? They're
Yes,
begging for a
right,
Trader Joe's
right.
every month. I thought it was absolutely hilarious. Whoever did this, I don't, was it around Halloween time or something? They put
Yeah.
a Trader Joe's coming soon in front of Rite Aid. I thought
Oh
that was
no.
the
Oh no.
absolute best. That was hilarious. Someone should
That's
do that
kind of
again just for
mean,
fun.
though.
But
It's a
but
little
people are
mean.
begging for Trader Joe's, right?
Yeah.
But yet we're building all these new homes. The Hitch Ranch project, we've got a
Yes.
couple other
There you go.
projects in the works, and everybody is up in arms about, well, there's gonna be too much traffic and there's gonna be
Right.
too many people. Well,
Right.
you can't have one without the other. So if you want a Trader
Exactly.
Joe's, we got to build more houses. And by the
There you are.
way,
There you
people
are.
people probably don't understand this, but we are way under our standard or the quota of
Right.
homes that we need to build or have.
Oh,
And so
okay.
this is all across California. This is something that has to happen. We have to
Yes.
build these homes.
Yes.
And so
And
anyway,
affordable housing
right.
that needs to go in. Yeah.
Yeah. So it just
Absolutely.
always baffles me when on one hand people want a Trader Joe's, but on the other hand, they don't want growth. It's like, well, again, you
Right.
can't have one without the other. So,
Exactly.
and I
You gotta
I
figure
love
it out.
I love the local small businesses here in Moorpark. It's one of the things that does make it very unique. I grew up in the Canal
Yes.
Valley. I grew up in Newbury Park. And
Uh-huh.
Newbury Park was a lot like Moorpark is now. I think Moorpark is maybe like 10, 15 years behind what Newbury Park was
Yeah,
at
yeah.
any given time. But like Canal Valley is super big, lots going on, a lot of bigger, chain restaurants. We still have a really good blend of, the
Yes,
local
we
mom and
do.
pops, people that have a lot of a passion in what they do, but also they kind of believe in their community, and it's a way. I mean, I'm just so proud. I didn't grow up here in Moorpark, but I did. I've been here actually
Yeah.
longer than I lived in my hometown.
How many
And
years?
having I moved here in 93.
93. Okay.
Yeah. So I
Okay.
graduated high school in 92. I moved here right after high school in 93. And then I started my business in 94. And so having a business here in town and living here and raising two kids here,
Yes.
going through the
Yes.
school systems, all four of us graduated from Moorpark College. There's just this pride, this hometown pride that people have. And look at, Jeff Broadsley grew up here, and now he's
Yes.
got his businesses on High
It's
Street.
beautiful.
And
Yes,
it's a super special, unique place and way for us to
it is.
give back to our community. So
Yeah,
let's talk a
and
little.
more people on that side of the street. They're going to be bringing in a wine bar over there. You
Yep.
know, and Jeff, he just did the creamery. That's doing extremely well.
Yeah.
People are lining up around the block for
People
the
love it.
cinnamon rolls. That they make, and Ken always goes over there, and he gets there too late. They're all out of cinnamon rolls. But people love it.
Absolutely. They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, retail and restaurant spaces help shape the heartbeat of a community.
Yes.
When you help place a business, do you ever step back and think about the long-term impact that decision will have on the city?
Yes, I do. Of course, when you are looking at tenants, I don't want to see anybody come in and fail, and when it's something that, it just doesn't feel right for Moorpark, I, I'm gonna not, I'm, I don't want to say I want to discourage that. I want to bring in people where if you put in a restaurant, let's say, that is fantastic and the word gets around and everybody loves it, that's going to drive business into the city of Moorpark, which is, of course, obviously good for our taxes and for all these things, and a good for our traffic counts that will bring other nationals in and different restaurants. But that's the goal, is to bring in something that's so unique and so wonderful that, you've got not only the people that live here who want to go there, but also the people around, in the cities, in Thousand Oaks, Westlake, Newbury Park, as you said, and, even Camarillo, that it's a destination where people hear about it and say, God, I've got to try that. It's fantastic. And so that's what you try to do, because you want that to be a huge success when you put it in, and it makes Moorpark even more special and
Yep.
more of a destination.
Yep. Hey, Jackie's watching. I know she's getting
Hi,
ready. It's
Jackie.
actually, she might be just walking into the Moorpark Women's Club meeting, but she just wanted to
Oh,
say hi. I don't know if you could see that there on her comment.
oh, shit. You know what? I'm not seeing the comments, but that's
That's
okay.
okay. I'll
Just
read it to
don't
you.
let
She
me
just
know
said,
if someone
my
says
beautiful
anything
friend
bad
Kim,
about
I
me.
love your story. Yeah, so she's watching. Thank you,
Hi,
and have a good
Jackie.
time at Moorpark Women's Club. Yeah, the only business that if I were in your shoes, and I'm not telling you or
Yes.
anybody how to do their business, but man, like I just get like when you talk about the lasting impact of a
Yes.
community.
Yeah.
I don't want to see weed shops. I don't want to see vape
Oh,
stores. I
no,
don't want to see
no.
any more liquor stores. I mean, and
No,
we have them,
no.
and they
Yeah,
serve a
no.
purpose. But like honestly, those are things when I see them come in,
Yeah.
I'm
I
like,
know, but
I wonder
you
what
do
that
have
impact is
people.
going to be.
Yeah, you do have people that come and ask, but generally for the depot, um, we we have the rents are fair, but sometimes they're too much for those type businesses. They're looking for low rent,
Hmm.
so it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen at the depot. I know you see that happening in a couple of other, buildings which are on LA Avenue. Um, so, yeah, I think that the city, welcomes business, but some things they do have to control so we don't get that. I don't think there are any dispensaries in Moorpark at all. No, as far as I
I don't
know.
think so.
I don't. I don't
I would know because I would know. I have no idea. But
Yeah, I don't think.
I will ask you this question too, because another challenge or issue or things that I've heard. Talk about, out of state or out of country owners of some of these buildings that make it challenging for, tenants to move in. I mean, I've actually had
Oh, yeah.
6
Okay.
different locations in
Yes.
Moorpark since I've
Yeah.
been in business. I've moved
Yeah.
around a little bit, right?
Yes.
And currently I have probably the best landlord, I think, in all of Moorpark
Yeah,
because
you do. You do.
she's
That's the
she is
first.
local. She
Yes.
owns a business here in
Yes.
Moorpark, and so she knows the community. How do you deal with the owners of the buildings that they don't understand the community? They don't,
And they
and
don't
either
care.
they accept whatever or
Yeah.
they turn people away just based on a P&L
Yeah.
sheet.
Well, yeah, there's one shopping center, which is one of our main shopping centers that's owned by it's a corporation that it's owned by. So they really aren't in touch with the people of Moorpark. They're
Right.
more about, you pay our rents, you pay our triple nets, and that's the way it goes. You are there or you're out.
Yep.
So, I've gone in to try to renegotiate some of their leases, especially with the older people that have been there for a while. And then all of a sudden this big, corporate entity comes in and takes over, and they're like wanting to kick people out that have been there for years. And, we love our people. We love, in Moorpark, we get to, let's just take one example of, the dry cleaners over by Ralph's, that I've gone there for 20 years that I've lived here.
Yeah.
I love that place. I take, and I'm really into my clothes, so I'm always about, getting everything tailored just right and everything. So yeah, there's been some hard times with people who, their businesses don't always make a lot of money, but they're necessary for our city to have those people. And so, I like to see landlords that will work with people. Some are a little less, able or, conducive to working with people. But like you say, your landlord, which is directly across the street from that, that's a local person, and they're just really kind, and they're able to work with small businesses and people and understand and want you there. And they want you there because they give to the center. I mean, every year I look over there and I'm always excited about that they put a Christmas tree up and they've got your Christmas lights, and it makes it festive and it makes it nice. And so most of those people that move in there, they come and they stay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean,
it's always clean. It's always taken care of.
Yes.
Any issues, that just dealing with a more local person.
Exactly.
Whereas on the other hand, speaking of the shopping center across the street, but not necessarily Ralph's, but over where not Do It Center? No, Tractor Supply.
Yes.
Do It Center's not there anymore.
Yeah.
But Tractor Supply, and that one has gone through so many different changes, and you can tell though, because if you just look at the parking lot, you look at the planners, it took forever for them to clean it up. It just shows a different level of pride.
Yeah, they need to repay that entire place.
Yeah.
And the problem there is there's 2 different owners.
Right.
They both live out of town. They're both out of town. One is in Orange County, and he's easy to reach, but the other one you can't reach at all. And so there's changes going on there, and ongoing things. And of course, we're all sad about losing Cafe Firenze, and there was a thought that they might be coming back to the depot, but they chose to go to Sullivan's in Newberry Park. I mean, those things happen, and I hope that someone can get together. In fact, let's talk to Jeff Broadsley. He's got a lot of money. Maybe he'll buy that shopping center.
Just call him out. Just Jeff, build it.
Come on, Jeff. Let's go.
Let's move on to one more question about the real estate, and then we can really dive into something I know you're super passionate about talking about.
Okay.
But commercial real estate is highly competitive, constantly evolving. What are some of
Yes.
the biggest shifts you've witnessed, and how have you navigated these changes?
Okay. Well, the obvious shift, and everyone knows this. During COVID, everyone went to shopping online.
Yeah,
You know, and then once that became a such an easy thing to do. Like everyone goes on Amazon, you find anything you want on Amazon. Well, then that kills the mom and pop stores,
right.
and that has been very sad, in retail, to see that happen. And then you even go to, let's say, the mall, the Oaks Mall. Um, it's just dying, and those things are sad. Um, However, the change that is good is that restaurants and entertainment always attracts people because we need places to go and to socialize, and
Hmm.
people still go out to dinner and do things like that. So you have to switch your mindset to putting in retailers that will provide entertainment,
Yeah.
provide either food, drinks, music. All these venues are still viable and still make money.
Yeah.
So,
Now,
so there's that.
and you mentioned, I guess I just wanted to get your thoughts on this real quick. Malls, like I grew up going to the Thousand Oaks Mall, like
Mhm.
that was just the hangout spot, like like kids.
Sure.
And I know you're a shopper. My wife's a
Yeah.
shopper, but and Amazon in Moorpark
Yes.
is leaving. So I mean, even Amazon, the store itself, is losing to themselves because people can get it online. But do you think, malls of the 80s and 90s that we remember, is that going to be a thing of the past? Do you think that we're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah,
see as many
yeah.
malls?
As far as I can see, yes. I mean, because I still go to TO Mall, at the Oaks Mall, and my one of my biggest places is Macy's, Nordstrom. I go to Black and White. I go to Sephora. Um, certain ones out there. Yeah. There's Zara. I love
Yeah.
Zara, but so I guess going there to look, it's just entertainment and set it up. But when I walk through, I see closed stores, closed stores, closed stores. I don't know what's going to happen. Of course, with the Simi Mall, um, that one is basically really closed. I mean, a lot of they're running uh, dance lessons and dance, throughout the entire mall. They
Hmm.
do, Halloween venues and different things to get people in there. They've got fairs and whatever. The only thing that does well in there are the restaurants, right?
Yeah. And the movie
And
theater.
so I know that there's a plan there to create housing rather
Yeah.
than, and so you're that's what you're seeing. In fact, I think over at the Mission Bell Plaza, which is the one we were talking about, that needs some work. Um, they're planning to do. I don't know if they've gotten their approvals yet with that, but they're planning to do apartments and condos over
Hmm.
there.
Yeah.
There's a plan for that. At
Okay.
least I think that they've submitted that to the city. I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, hey, I know we've talked a lot about commercial real estate, and that's your career, and that's
Yay.
what you do, what you're known
Right.
for, probably here in Moorpark, or at least half of it, because a lot of people know you for this other part of your life. And
Yes.
so, was there a moment in your career when you took a significant risk that ultimately changed the trajectory of your life?
Yes. When I wrote Dance to Deception, it took a lot of courage for me to put that out there because there are some. I don't know if you've read the book. It's very exciting. It's got a sexy woman as the center character, and she's an FBI agent, so she's a badass. She goes out and she does all these things, and there's some sexual activity, and so that was a huge risk. But let me just tell you that it was the best thing that ever happened to me with my writing because I got that out there, and all of a sudden everyone loved it. And everyone started asking me, Kim, when's the next one? When's the next one? And so I'll tell you right now, I am writing the next one, but against, one of these literary agents who spoke to me, I had said, it really is a passion project for me to write Walking in Tall Cotton, which is a totally different character. And they said, that's going to take you a long time to write. So maybe you write your sequel to Dance Deception. Not listening, of course, to that, I said, no, this is my passion project. I'm gonna write this first. And he was so right. And I wish I would have listened. Not because, I regret, I love what I've written here, but it did take 3 years to write.
Yeah.
So he was correct about that. And, but yet it's a beautiful book. It's a beautiful story. And Dance Deception is fun. It's exciting. It's quick. It's moving. There's action. There's all these things that's easy to sell. People love this character of Keira Michaels, who is, she's unexpected. She's like, for instance, a Kim Simons, but yet with a gun and, karate knowledge.
Nice.
So she's a secret weapon that people don't know about. So,
all right.
So she can turn on them when, criminals, when they don't expect it. And that's what her power is. It's like she's a female vigilante. So it did change the trajectory of my career because people know me for both things. But for on social media, for all of that, that's why people are drawn to me, because they love that story and they're still buying that story. It's for sale on Amazon, but the sequel is coming up.
So when did you start writing the first book? How long ago did that start?
That started about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And that one is actually a quick write, and also it was really quick to get published, which is fantastic. It made me feel very accomplished all at once. Made me feel successful all at once. And that helped me in a lot of ways, just knowing like as a writer, you go through so much rejection. There's you're writing to publishers, you're writing to agents, you're writing to all these people, just trying to, like, look at my work, try, please take me,
Mm-hmm.
and you get a lot of rejection there. And so when you finally get a yes and you get that published, it's like, all the fireworks go off, like finally I did this thing, and it's wonderful. And then I get all these people online, DMing me and saying, Kim, I love it. I want more. So the more is coming. So
now, did you write, in your past life, did you start writing like in high school and in your young adult
yes,
life, or
I
was this
did.
something that didn't come until much later?
No, you know what? I did write, and I had forgotten about it because I'll tell you something. I originally really wanted to be an actress. And so I went out and I did get parts, small parts, walk-on parts here and there on TV shows such as Dallas and Matlock and a few different things, and a movie of the week sort of film. But in the end, there were like 5-liners,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't my vision. I really thought I was going to be this huge star, like, here I come, it's Kim Simons. And I might have been Kim Buchanan at that time. So, I was going out and getting these small parts, but it wasn't my dream,
Right.
And eventually, of course, most women want to get married, you want to have a family and everything. So not to forgo those things, I did, obviously get married, have babies. I was still getting calls from my agent going, we have a reading for you. Can you be there in 30 minutes? It's in Hollywood. And here I am with these 2 infants at home, and it wasn't possible. So where the writing came in is like, I actually regretted, I didn't want to live with regret. I regretted not pursuing further that that I never regretted having my kids, but I did regret, not sticking to my original goal. And I thought, how can I do this, at home? You
Hmm.
know, how can I do this with the kids, with, everything? And then a voice spoke to me. I prayed about this a lot. And a voice spoke to me that you can write. And I sort of went, no, 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 no. I don't have experience as a writer. But then I started thinking, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Hmm.
Because I was an English major, English and literature major. And I realized, yes, I did write those stories. And I did get top, honors for that, and A's across the board. And um, yes, you can write. So I sat down and started writing. And the very first thing, I'll never forget that I wrote this, screenplay, and I thought I would get it to Kevin Costner. That was like, I was the star of the moment, and I thought, oh, that he will love this story. It's a hero story. He's gonna just grab onto it. So I did go through some really funny uh, events, just trying to get that script to him to read. And anyway, to tell you the truth, I've never gotten the script over to him. I did get it to a really high end producer, and I got a letter from him saying, I love this. Please do not stop doing this. Please continue to write because you're super talented. And he said, I brought it to our committee. We talked about it. We considered it, making a movie out of it. And then this is a really high end guy. And he said, ultimately, we went with we needed a cast that would include less characters. So we're going to pass on the project. Of course, my heart was broken, but it did make me feel good that he encouraged me to keep on
Hmm.
going. And I did. I kept on going,
So
regardless.
have you written any other screenplays?
Mm, yes. I have romantic comedies. I have full on family comedies. And then I have my sexy story with Dance of Deception. And then, of course, my newest story, which is Walking in Tall Cotton. This is a remarkable, true story about a woman's journey as she navigates with grit and grace through the challenges of the aftermath of the Civil War. And she is armed with resilience and fortitude. Um, in this story, she also joins with her best friend and a one-time enslaved woman to create a bond. And the two of them work together as they navigate through this very difficult time in American history. And they are they journey through adversity, unyielding spirits with power and courage. And I love that. That's what I try to show for women, because women have it in them. They have the strength to go forward with anything that they want to do. They just have to believe, believe in themselves. And that's what this story shows. And
Well,
and believe me, there was adversity. It was in Mississippi. It's based in Mississippi. And so they faced the worst of the worst. And yet they got through.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Number one, you got a bunch of people watching. Kim is watching, and Renee is watching, and they're
Oh,
loving
great.
everything that they are hearing. But when you said, women have this power and women have
They
this thing,
do.
women have babies, right? Men could not do that, right? So yes, absolutely,
True.
100%.
True. But yeah.
I'm like, I'm with you 100%. I know that
Yeah.
and as a martial arts instructor, this is something that I have young boys, young girls alike that take martial arts, right? And
Yeah.
when I watch my students on the mat, like, I never get caught up with boys can do this and girls can do that. And I have a boy and a girl. I have a son and a daughter. And I never went, well, my daughter can do this, and like, they can literally They can literally do anything that they set their mind to do it. And having
Exactly.
people in your life, it sounds like you've had people in your life that have encouraged you, that have
Yes,
told you, yes, you can do it. And you got to find that inner strength, because sometimes you do face those challenges and you
you
do face
do.
that rejection over and
That's
over and
true.
over.
Over and over.
You just got
Yeah,
to push through.
I bring it back to the early days when I was writing my scripts, my screenplays. Um, you would have to like print out the pages, put covers on it, put brads on it, pound them down, fix
Yep.
it, and mail it in the mail to people, because you didn't have the computer,
Yeah, you can just put it
way
in a
of just
PDF and send it
electrically
through
send it.
email.
So when they came back in the mail, like your heart would just sink to the floor. I mean, like, talk about clipping your wings. I mean, that really does it. There was a time when, I had this one family comedy, which is really great. I still have this screenplay, and a man who's a producer said, I want to produce it. Give me some time with it to produce it. So after 3 years of him having it, I was like, well, you haven't done it, and so I would like it back. During this time, Disney came to me, and a producer at Disney, and he said, Kim, give me the story. I could get it done now. So I called the guy and said, listen, you have to release my story. I have this guy at Disney that is going to produce this movie. And the guy wouldn't release it, and he took me to court.
Really?
And yeah, and I had to pay $3,000, which for me was a lot of money at the time. We had the two boys. Beautiful. We lived in a house. Everything has to get paid for. And I took this money and tried to fight him. And I did not win. And I can't understand why I didn't win. It's because I signed a contract. He had me sign a contract with no end, which is also illegal. I have no idea how he got away with it. But at the same time, my father was dying of pancreatic cancer. And the two things were so difficult for me and so negative for me that, don't make me cry. For the first time, I said, I have to quit. I've never done that. But eventually, when I got to Moorpark, water. When I got to Moorpark, I met with a group of girls. We call us the masterminds, just like you call the masterminds. And I love these girls, and I told them what I've been through and all my stories. And they were like, Kim, these are great stories. You can't stop. And, just the encouragement, I turned around and said, they are great. I can't turn my back on this. And I then said, do something different this time. Try something different. You've tried through Hollywood so many times. You've come up with these certain results. Try something different. And that's when I started writing Dance of Deception. And believe me, it was wonderful. It was so good to get that out there, have it be seen, and have people love it. And then I know that they love it. So, it's just, wow, that opened up. That was like a breath of fresh air.
Yeah. Well, good for you. And you know what?
Thank you.
When you said that, you said you had to quit, and I don't look at it like that. I don't look at when you had to make that decision.
I guess I crashed and burned for a little while. Yeah, I would
But
say
you know
that.
what? But at that time, you chose you. You chose what
I
was
had to,
best
yeah.
for you. And so I don't think that is a sign of quitting or giving up, because now you've
It's true,
taken that
because I
experience
still came back.
into what you're doing
Yeah.
now.
Right. The fact is, you only lose when you really quit. The point was, there was so much going on in my personal life with my father dying and all these things. I had to let go of anything that was negative, and that was a negative situation that I needed to let go of. And we got through it. of course, my father did die, but in the end, I was eventually able to bring myself back up, rise back up. I
Yep.
always say, rise regardless. That is one of the things I always say. And I eventually did. It just took time
Yep.
to rebuild
Absolutely.
within the inside.
Now, have you ever thought about taking any of your screenplays or any of these thoughts to the high street theater and see if
Oh,
maybe something could happen there? I don't know,
you know
because
what? That's
I know
interesting.
Renee would love to be maybe play a part in what a
She's so good.
Renee's going to be
This
coming. Do you know Renee's going to be in
this woman
Footloose?
is amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
she does real estate fantastic. She is like so good at what she does, and she cares about her clients. Um, and then she goes out and she's got kids. She's got kids. She's got things to do, a lot of things to do, and she does these things at night. And I have to say, she's good, and I applaud her in every way. You know, just for doing all these things. And we even talk about somebody. Also, she has the same thing, that creative outlet. Plus, she does so many things for the city. You know,
Yeah.
the city council. Um, and then she goes at night and does these shows at which I know are hard. You've got to rehearse the whole thing, be perfect when you walk on stage, and she does it, and she does it well.
Yep. No, Renee does an
Yeah.
amazing job. Now, I don't think that she has any kids, but I know she has a lot of pets. So the pets are
Oh,
her
good.
kids.
Okay.
But
Well, there you go.
yeah, listen,
Learn something every day.
talk about someone who someone said to me the other day, if you want something done, ask a busy person to do it. And I was like, wow,
Yeah,
that's pretty profound statement.
it's
When you
true.
want something done,
That's
you
true.
ask Renee Delgado or you ask Chris Barrett. Like those are the two people I know. If I
There you
want
go.
something done, I just ask them. But anyway, going back to community. Now you've
Yes.
served in numerous leadership roles here in Moorpark,
Yes.
including Kiwanis president. You're
Yes.
currently an arts commissioner for the city of Moorpark. What does leadership mean to you, and how has service shaped your perspective on life?
I'll tell you something. That was something that really opened my eyes. I went into Kiwanis wanting to do service to the city. Um, and it's as a spiritual law. You have to give back, either through money or through service. That is a really important law. And so I wanted to do service, and I started there. And it just opened my eyes to all these things. Living up at the country club, you're in this space, where everybody is just like having a great time, wonderful time. You don't know how many people are out there struggling, even in your own city. And, I was brought into, all these different groups where you help these people. You do help these people, and there is nothing more gratifying than to know that you are helping people, with their day-to-day lives. As in the Kiwanis, we help with the first five. We raise money for Boy Scouts and Girl Scout groups. We raise money for the food pantry. We work for the food pantry. We did so many things. And that's why, all our activities were important, because we were raising money for all these charities that we funded, Catholic charities and all these things. And, they're really important to this city. Not everyone lives on the hill in this really gorgeous house with everything you can think of, which is a great reason that we're having a new library. People depend on those resources, and they depend on those things because kids need their computers now and all these things to go to school and complete their assignments and do all these things. And the library provides that. And it's so important for our city that we take care of everyone. And I think that helped me grow as a person in so many ways. Of course, then I got invited to, Kim, why don't you come and help us with it? Kim, why don't you come and help us with it? Yes, okay. I go ahead. I'll help you. And I realized at some point, wow, I'm like doing so much. And I had to pull back from a few things so I could write, because I
Yeah.
was actually going into my time of writing, because you're going to, actually you're going to a meeting almost every evening. That literally, I had weeks
I
where
have no
every night
idea.
I had a meeting.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm kidding because
Oh,
Jackie and I because Jackie and I
yeah,
often
I
say
know
to
you
ourselves
know.
like, do we work more or do we volunteer more? I don't know which one we do, but we have a pretty
Yeah,
amazing
true.
community with the Kiwanis Club. We've got the two Rotary clubs,
Yes, yes,
and there's so many different opportunities to help out,
yes,
and get involved with the Moorpark Chamber of Commerce. Now you
yes,
have the Friends of the Library and the library,
yes,
things going, lots and lots of things going on there.
yes,
So, you know, anybody in our community, if you're, we read a lot about Facebook, they should do this or they should do that. And I hear that. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
there's always an opportunity. There's always an opportunity
Mhm.
for anybody to jump in and
Yes,
support an organization. I mean, we have Robert Perez, we have the Rudy Perez Memorial
yes,
Foundation.
yes,
We have the Joel Birchfield Memorial Foundation, two great local nonprofits that we can help and serve with different special events. One of my favorites, having been a recipient of food share or manna,
yes,
was
yes.
when I was a kid, I knew what block cheese and powdered milk was. So where I came from. But being able to serve at the Lord's table is something that
Yes,
my wife and I have done many times
yes.
through our Rotary Club, and it feels so good to
It's
serve. And
gratifying.
in my mind, it was always something that I was going to do because I always said that people helped me, and I've had plenty of times in my life, from a child to a young adult to even current times. When you have people help you out, the best way to pay it forward is to help
Yes,
somebody else.
there
And I
you
just
are.
think that that's
And
a
it and,
great
and
way.
those, it helps you.
Yeah,
You feel gratified that you have done
absolutely.
this. Yeah, I've served at the Lord's table as well.
Yeah,
It is really a great thing to do. And, I think everybody should volunteer in any way, even if it's small. Maybe you don't want to join Rotary or
sure.
Kiwanis like as a member, but like let's say you go in and say, look, I want to work with you on certain events.
Hmm.
There's times when you need more hands. Um, so I would even invite those people. Some people don't want to pay the dues, um, which I understand. But there's things you can do. There's people that when you need extra hands, that they can help out.
Trust me, there's always something to do. We
Yes,
got Moorpark Country
yes,
Days, you got the Arts Festival, you've
yes.
got all these
Oh,
different
so
things, and
yes,
volunteers are always needed. And people don't know this,
yeah,
or people may not know this, but as a student throughout the Moorpark Unified School District, you have
yes,
required hours
yes.
to graduate high school
I
of
know that.
volunteer
Yeah.
time. So, we're always kind of encouraging, especially within our school, like, hey, get your volunteer hours in early, but not only get them in early, this is something that you could do every year or all the
Yes,
time. It's just a
yes.
great lead in to that community service. So, looking back on your journey so far, what are you most proud of?
I think getting Dance to Deception published. I am confident that I can get Dance to Deception to published. Walking in Tall Cotton is a little more challenging, but I'm not gonna quit. I spent 3 years writing this. It's a story from the heart. It's an important story. I think it's something that people need to know. Because I think that a lot of people, when I started reading on the history of the Civil War, I realized how much I absolutely didn't know. I
Hmm.
did not know, and now I know. And this is a very important story. It's a beautiful story. It's not just historical. It's about their lives together and what they were feeling and what they were going through. So there's some really drastic hard times, but there are some really up times and some fun things that happen. So it's a mixture of all kinds of things that happen in life. And, you know, the very best thing is getting those books out there and having people read them and getting the feedback. And that's so gratifying. I
When
really
can we
enjoy that.
expect this new book? When can we expect this new book?
Okay, so the new book should be done, I mean, with like by, October, let's say.
Okay.
It should be finished.
All right.
The Walking in Tall Cotton, I am working to get a #1 top publisher and a literary agent who can handle this story. I think it's a great story for women's groups. A lot of people are going to be interested in it for various reasons. And I am still querying. That's what you have to do, is write queries to all these people. And I believe that I will get it done.
All right. Sounds good. Well, looking forward to it. Now, last question. For someone listening today, what would be an inspirational message that you would want to share with them?
Okay, so my inspirational message is start believing, start dreaming, start pursuing what has been put in your heart. And everybody, if you search your heart, you know what it is, and that's your purpose. And so follow that purpose and never stop.
Mm-hmm. I love it. I love it.
That is the best thing you can do.
I had a coach once tell me, and I quote Coach Steve, he said, follow your heart and you'll never be wrong.
Yeah, that's right.
And I love it.
Right.
I love it. Well, hey, Kim, where can people follow you on social media? Where can they connect with you? Well, what's the best way to reach you?
Okay, so I am on Facebook, Kim Simons Facebook. I also am on Instagram as Kim Simons Writer, which is very simple. And I also have a website, which is www.kimsimonswriter.com. So very simple. And it has a link there that tells all my stories, and also a link there that you can connect to buy Dance to Deception. You go straight to Amazon to buy.
Beautiful.
And so I am definitely out there. I'm also on Twitter, or X, I guess we should call it.
Yeah.
It used to be Twitter, but I think most people know it as Twitter, so I'll say Twitter. I'm on Twitter, and all I do there is, and I'm Kim Simons Writer on Twitter as well. Give inspiration to help people keep going, because I know that, like I said, I had my moments of deepest despair, and I want to encourage people, inspire people to keep going, and that's what my whole feed is about.
I love it. I love it. Well, guys, go follow her on all her social media. Look forward to the new book coming out sometime towards the end of the year, so it might make a good Christmas gift.
Yes.
And Kim, thanks for being on the show. Thanks for taking an hour of your time to tell your story. I told you that it was going to go super fast, right? I said an hour will go by really fast, and here we are. So thank you to Renee and Kim and Jackie and Robert, all of you, for your comments and for watching. If you're still watching this live, do us a favor, share it. If you're watching it sometime later, share it anyway. And go to Master Motivation Podcast on YouTube and subscribe to our channel for some more upcoming and amazing guests. Kim, thank you so much for being on the show, and I will see you around town.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care. Say bye to Ken for me.
Okay, I will. Okay, bye.